Good morning students. How are you all? I hope you all are doing great and having fun learning essays through videos. Students, in our previous session we discussed about the solar system, right? And in today's session we will be studying about the location and shape of the earth. So let's begin. Students, have you noticed that so many things around us are flat? If you see the road, it is flat. The croplands are flat. Students, the way to your school is also flat. So, you must be thinking that the earth is actually flat, isn't it? If everything is flat, then the earth's surface should also be flat. Even our ancestors thought that the earth is like a flat square body. Students, do you ever wonder what exactly is the shape of the earth? What do you think the earth looks like? If you think that it looks like a globe, you're not exactly right. Long ago, people thought that it was flat like a coin. Then people came to know that it is spherical like a ball. Later on, when pictures were taken from space, then we got to know that the earth is actually not perfectly spherical. For example, have you ever seen a broken earthen pot? If you take a small piece of it in your hand, you cannot imagine that it would have been round. Thus, looking at a very small part of the earth does not tell us that the whole earth is spherical. But now, with the help of photographs taken from the moon and space, we can say that there is no doubt about the earth's shape. The earth is spherical. It is flat at both the poles, North Pole and South Pole. Some astronauts have gone up to the moon. They have taken Earth's photographs from there. From the moon, the earth looks like a giant sphere. Students, the earth is not round like a ball, but it is like an orange. The earth's poles are slightly flat and it is slightly inflated at equator. In order to study about the earth, the globe is used as a circular device. A map of world is drawn on it along with continents, oceans and important lines. The globe is a small replica of the earth. Now let's understand what is pole star. It is the star that is known to retain its position in the sky always. We can locate the position of the pole star with the help of the constellation Saptarishi. Students, we have discussed about constellation. A group of stars which form a pattern and have a particular name is called a constellation. If an imaginary line is drawn joining the pointer stars of Saptarishi and extended further, it will point to the pole star. People who travel by sea or in desert can easily find pole star. The direction in which it appears is north. Due to its stability and nearly circular shape of the earth, it cannot be seen from the southern hemisphere. Now let's study about longitudes and latitudes. But before that, I would like to ask you one question. Have you noticed whenever your parents want to visit a new place, what do they do first? Well, they enter the address of that place in Google Maps, right? And as soon as they enter the address of that place in Google Maps, Google gives them all information about that place, about how to reach there, where it is located, and which are the nearest landmarks. So, how do you think Google Map does that? Well, that's because Google has some numbers stored inside it. Students, you all know that for every house there is a house number, right? Which is written on the door or near the door. And whenever the postman wants to deliver the letter, by that particular number, he is able to identify where to deliver which letter. Similarly, Google Map has stored a lot of numbers for every place. So, whenever you mark a place on Google Map, what happens is it pulls out a unique number for that particular place. Now, what are these numbers? These are latitudes and longitudes. Now, what these longitudes and latitudes are? Well, these are very unique numbers which are stored for every place on the earth. So, let's see what these latitudes and longitudes are. There are vertical and horizontal imaginary lines on the Earth's surface. With the help of these imaginary lines, exact time and location can be known. Students, as you can see in the picture, horizontal imaginary lines on the Earth's surface are called latitudes, and vertical imaginary lines drawn on the Earth's surface are called longitudes. Students, this is our planet Earth. As you can see, our planet Earth has no lines on it. But for our convenience, we have drawn some lines on it. So these are imaginary lines which we have drawn for our convenience. Among these lines, two are very important, which are the equator, a horizontal line drawn in the center of the earth, and then there is the prime meridian, which runs from North Pole to South Pole in vertical lines. The portion above equator is called Northern Hemisphere, and the portion towards the south of equator is called Southern Hemisphere. Now, with these important lines as base, we have drawn some more lines. For example, with equator as the base, we have drawn a number of horizontal lines on the planet Earth, which are called latitudes. The horizontal imaginary lines drawn on the Earth's surface are called latitudes. If any point on the surface of the Earth is connected by a straight line to the center of the Earth, then the line becomes latitude of the point as far as the angle of the center is along the equator. The total number of latitudes are 181. So students, latitudes are lines which are drawn with equator as the base. You see all these lines here, horizontal lines. They have been drawn with equator as the starting point, and you will notice that these lines are parallel to the equator. That's why these latitudes are also called parallels. So you can either call them latitudes or parallels. Let's understand the main latitudes of the earth. The equator divides the earth into two equal parts. The portion above the equator is called Northern Hemisphere, and the portion towards the south of equator is called Southern Hemisphere. The five main parallels of latitudes from north to south are Arctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, Equator, Tropic of Capricorn, and Antarctic Circle. Let's understand the main latitudes of the earth with the help of this image. So students, among all the latitudes which we have on planet Earth, major latitudes are Arctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, and Antarctic Circle. And equator is in the middle. These latitudes have specific locations on planet Earth. So, where is Arctic Circle? Well, it is located at 66.5 degree north. And where is Tropic of Cancer located? It is at 23.5 degree north. And where is the Tropic of Capricorn located? It is located at 23.5 degree south. And Antarctic Circle is located at just the opposite side of Arctic Circle. While Arctic Circle was 66.5 degree north, Antarctic Circle is at 66.5 degree south. So you can see that all these major latitudes are located on either side of the equator. So two of them are on the northern side and two of them are on the southern side. The speed of the sun between Tropic of Cancer in the north and Tropic of Capricorn in the south of equator is called solstice. Therefore, the circle between these latitudes are called solstices. Now, I would like to ask you one thing. Why do you think these are main latitudes of the earth? Because these main latitudes divide the earth into temperature zones. Students, let's understand longitudes. The vertical imaginary lines drawn on the surface of the earth are called longitudes. The longitudes meet each other at the poles, North Pole and South Pole. There are total 360 longitudes, among which 0 degree longitude and 180 degree longitude are important. Students, let's understand longitudes better with the help of the given image. As you can see in this image that prime meridian is a very important line. It divides the earth into two equal halves. On the eastern side is the eastern hemisphere and on the western side is the western hemisphere. Now, with prime meridian as the base, we have drawn some more lines for our convenience. Let's see what these lines are. Well, these lines are called longitudes and they are drawn like this on the entire earth. Since these lines are drawn with prime meridian as the base, so they are also called meridians. Students, over the years, people have been using different techniques to navigate across the world. Traditionally, people used to depend on landmarks and stars to travel between different locations. But the discovery of GPS made people no longer rely on these traditional techniques to find their way. So, what is GPS? The Global Positioning System is a radio navigation system that is used in land, sea, and air to determine the exact location, time, and velocity irrespective of weather conditions. You can easily find GPS system in your car, your smartphone, and your watch. Students, there are two major longitudes. First is Greenwich Mean Time Line and the second is International Date Line. First, we will discuss what is GMT, Greenwich Mean Time Line. The 0 degree longitude which passes through Greenwich City of England is called Greenwich Line. It divides the earth into two equal parts from east to west, which are known as Eastern Hemisphere and Western Hemisphere. Next is International Date Line. 180 degree longitude is called International Date Line. The date and time change when we cross this line. It passes through the Pacific Ocean and roughly follows a 180-degree longitude, north-south line on the earth. Students, the latitude of a region has a great effect on its climate and weather. The different heat zones have different types of climates. The parallels of latitude divide the earth into different heat zones. There are three types of heat zones: torrid zone, temperate zone and frigid zone. Students, from the given image, it becomes clear that the earth is divided in different parts on the basis of temperature, light, heat and cold. These parts are called zones. Torrid zone lies between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. This hottest zone of the earth receives direct sunlight throughout the year. This zone is also known as tropical zone. Temperate zone lies between the Tropic of Cancer and Arctic Circle in the north and the Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle in the south are two zones of moderate temperature called temperate zone. The area that lies to the north of the Arctic Circle and to the south of Antarctic Circle is called the frigid zone. The sun never rises much above the horizon here, and these areas are thus frozen for most of the year. So students, next time when you plan to go for a vacation to a distant country, do check the latitude of that place before packing your bags. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed our today's session. We will meet in our next session. Till then, take care, eat healthy food, do exercise and keep learning.